Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you, Mr. Imtiaz Gul and all colleagues from CRSS. Very happy to see you here, and I want to appreciate your efforts in the past. At times the tensions were very high. You're always available, and you have communicated issues related to the interest of good neighborliness between both countries. At times you may have been disappointed because of the slow progress here or there, but it's important that on behalf of our team, which some members of our team are around the table, to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for your continuous effort. And one of those demands, which were one of the requests from your side, which was either towards the end of our meetings and interactions in Kabul or at the beginning of it, was raised, was why aren't you visiting Pakistan, which I had expressed my desire to do so at the right time, but I see today over the past 3 days as the right opportunity to do so. We have been here with the delegation from High Council for National Reconciliation at the time that our negotiating teams are in Doha. With me here, my deputy, Dr. Farahmand, Mr. Saadati, and other colleagues from the council. Mr. Saadati was a member of parliament, but now my deputy in the High Council, and our senior advisors and members of that council with me. The focus of our talks here in Islamabad in the past 2 days, including today, which is the third day of our presence here, has been peace, around peace, but at the same time areas of bilateral relations which are important. I would say that today, this afternoon, we may leave towards Kabul, but we will go to leave Islamabad with a good sense and good impression, lots of friendly messages, and also areas that we will continue to work together towards better future for both countries and for our region. I am appreciative of the support of Pakistan's government for the peace efforts, as well as the steps taken recently in terms of the bilateral relations, including yesterday's decision of the cabinet on the visa policy. There were issues of trade, transit, in other issues which we discussed it when there was opportunity, and I was happy to learn that advisor in charge of commerce here for the Prime Minister, Mr. Abdullah, will be visiting Afghanistan soon, and our ministers in the government are ready to work out with a spirit of cooperation to address those areas which will help better interactions and also engagement of the business to business in facilitating trade facilitation between both countries. So the focus throughout remained on the issue of peace, which is most important, and we know that the hopes and desires and aspirations of our people for betterment of their life in our own country, in our neighborhood, will not materialize without achieving peace. That was the main focus of our interactions here, which we had positive response in support of those efforts which are underway. And I may focus on Doha for a few minutes and then move to the Q&A part of our session. The fact that after so many years of war, we live around a table, we sit around a table and have face-to-face talks. That in itself is historic. And it is historic from another perspective as well, that now there is a broader understanding in the region and also amongst the international community that we should have a peaceful, inclusive, peaceful settlement, dignified peace, durable and sustainable peace, which is only in our interest and the interest of our region and also contribute to peace and stability beyond our region. That is the challenges that we have gone through in the past 42 years of war. We have discussed it and you have seen it in your visits to Kabul. You have seen both sides of it. The suffering of the people which continues because of the continuation of the war, what people went through and are going through. From the other side, you have seen the energy, the drive, the environment, the force for moving on and building better lives for ourselves, and the goodwill as well. So that is the what keeps us in the picture. Myself and has made me make further efforts in that regard. Our team is there. The instruction for our team is to be patient. As I mentioned yesterday also in the Institute, because this is the chance. We don't want our people to miss this chance again. There might have been other chances. Or, unfortunately, perhaps the situation was such that there were no potentials for an opportunity as such in the past. Whatever. But the reality of today is that it's 42 years since the start of the war in Afghanistan. And millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives. Millions of refugees, including the ones, millions which are staying still in the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. And I thank the authorities in Pakistan and the people of Pakistan, especially for getting along with these refugees. And also, while at the same time back home, I was in charge of those efforts for facilitating for the return of the refugees. And hundreds of thousands of people, perhaps over 2 million people, have returned back in the past 5 years to Afghanistan, but only from Pakistan, but also from Iran as well. And the negotiations continues. The pace of it, as far as the people of Afghanistan are concerned, they think that it's slow. Yes, perhaps it's slow, but it's important that it's there and it should continue until we find a solution that people with very diverse views are getting together. People with very challenging pasts are getting together. It's not easy. It's not easy, and it will take time, but we shouldn't waste time. That's important, and that's the instruction to our delegation there in Doha. Another issue which we discussed it here as well, while the talks continues there, the level of violence is very high, unfortunately. Perhaps higher than last year, higher than before the start of the talks. That needs to be addressed, and hopefully we will get to some understanding there in Doha. And one might ask that, how you see the end state. What are the steps between now and then? That depends on the agreement between both sides. No prepared prescription will work in that regard. That yes, this is the prescription, and then you take it and move on that basis. The main issue is that the fundamental principle of we are solving it through negotiations is equally accepted with equal eagerness from both sides. That is expected. Yes, this will be also put into test during these talks. That's the expectations of the people. That's the anticipation of our people. And also, not to let it break. Yes, they need breaks for consultation and all of that, but that process should continue until it gets us closer to what we want. And in a peaceful Afghanistan, the opportunities for our people and for our neighborhood, for South Asia, for Pakistan, for Central Asia, is enormous, is beyond what we can imagine. And at the same time, the opportunities which we missed already. And that's also people with lots of experience in different fields are here with us, and I think we are all in agreement on that. Thank you for coming for this get together. I'm happy to see you here. At least I'm happy that one question is not there. We are in Islamabad. I've been here. It was long overdue. This is after 12 years. Last time it was October 2008. And a lot happened in between in Pakistan. A lot happened in between in Afghanistan as well. I will leave Islamabad with good impression and good sense. It's not just me. It's all members of our delegation. This morning, I had sort of breakfast meeting with our own media people, which have traveled with me. Some of them they have been here for the first time, and some had visited Pakistan earlier as well. But everybody's sense was, especially those who had visited here earlier, that there is an opportunity. There is a much better feeling and sense here, and we need to capitalize on it and make it work for the best interest of both countries.